Hello, Scrufftards. Welcome back to the War Zone. I'm Scruffy, and this is Scruffy Tales. And as you all know, Russia has made a big breakthrough at Ocheretyne, and I figured I would highlight why this is dangerous. And there we go. Well, you all know what's going on. Russia had a breakthrough here, and they pushed into town here, Ocheretyne, and after that they have been slowly pushing out, expanding the breach. They outflanked Berdichi. Ukraine had to fall back, and they have been pushing on ever since. And they have also pushed into Novokalinove and towards Karamek here. So Russia is on a roll. And I've been seeing some YouTubers saying that, it's no big deal. This is not really a victory. They're only attacking into unimportant territory and stuff like that. And if you ask me, that's all bullshit. And they are coping to the extreme. And I will explain to you why Russia is on a roll and why this is dangerous for Ukraine. First off, since as we've seen, Russia has, with this breakthrough, been able to outflank Ukrainians here, forcing them to abandon towns and locations along this small river here. And if this continues, they are in a good position to grab this territory here and even down here. Uh, so and if Russia manages to do this, bypass Ukrainian defenses and forcing them to withdraw to this valley and this river, then Russia is in a position to do the same down here. Then they can attack southward and force Ukrainians over here to fall back to the valleys and rivers over here instead, right? And it kind of, this becomes a domino effect, because if Russia does this, then they can rinse and repeat and do it all over again down here. And Russia is advancing along the entire front line down here. Russia has momentum from Ocheretyne all the way down to Novomykhailivka and south of it. So Russia is on a roll. They are pushing and they are gaining ground along this entire section of the front line. So if they can start outflanking up here, then they will begin to outflanking down here, and then they will do the same down here. So this small breach could potentially affect the entire length in the long run of this section of the front line. This is no small thing, despite what any YouTuber might say. It doesn't matter. It was a trap. Bullshit. Ukraine, they fucked up and they are now paying the price. And Russia is in a good position to exploit this breach. Another thing, here we have a railroad leading all the way down to Avdiivka and Donetsk, and Russia can now use this railroad to bring in reinforcements to Ocheretyne and then send them into combat in short order. And as we can see, they are pushing out away from Ocheretyne, and it could be that they are following the railway. And that means the next stop along the line would be Prores, and after that Shelane, in order to grab these logistical hubs. If they grab Prores, they can send in trains over here with supplies and support the fight, expand downwards, northwards, do the same here. And what is at the end of this railway? Pokrovsk, a massive logistical hub for Ukraine, where, if I'm not entirely mistaken, they have a lot of regional commanders. They stock up on supplies and then ship it out to the front line where it's needed. So moving along this railway gives Russia some really good logistics that will allow them to keep up pressure and momentum as they're going, and it could lead them all the way over to Pokrovsk in the end. I don't think this is the likely choice, but you never know. It certainly is a possibility, if you ask me. But here is where it kind of gets interesting, or dangerous even. Russia has been pushing steadily northwest from Ocheretyne, and what do we have? Not that far off. This highway leading all the way to Chasiv Yar. This is the main supply route from Pokrovsk to the front line at Chasiv Yar. And as we see here, Russia is what? 10 kilometers away from this intersection here, right here. Russia could potentially be heading straight for this supply route. And if they cut it, it will affect the front here. Yes, you can move in other ways, use other roads. But this is where logistics will be moving the most efficiently and effectively. And if Russia can cut this, it will affect combat up here. So we'll see if they keep on going towards Nova Alexandrivka and what happens then. But this intersection here may be what Russia is going for at the moment. And last but not least, it could be with these two pushes that Russia is intending to go north. As you can see here, you have some high ground here in between these valleys, rivers, and lakes. So it could be that Russia wants these valleys. They want these the high ground here, because if they push north and grab this cat in the background and get all the way up here, they are in a position to, if they manage to grab Chasiv Yar, that is, then they are in a position to push and link up here south of Konstantinivka. And if they do that, they have cut off Toretsk. And then if they are pushing this far and threaten to cut off Toretsk, that may convince Ukraine to abandon this area altogether, fall back before they are encircled, and then Russia grabs a lot of territory in one fell swoop. So that is also something that Russia could attempt with the ground they get, with this breach they've created in the Ukrainian lines. They could be pushing north in order to try and link up with troops pushing in from Chasiv Yar. And I mean, yeah, they could be potentially be trying to cross here at Chasiv Yar. They could potentially be going north to link up at Ivanovo-Pilia to cut off Toretsk. And if they make this move and cut off the supplies here, this becomes quite a possibility, if you ask me. If you can't hold Chasiv Yar as easily because the supply lines are cut, this well and truly becomes a real possibility. But we'll see what happens. This may be the most likely objective right now. But if you're watching YouTubers that say that Russia will overextend and all you have to do is move around and attack from the flanks behind, the Russians, they know what they're doing, because when you do a breach like this, just follow it on the maps. What Russia has done, they go in and then expand. They go in a bit more and then they expand. So to avoid being under threat of being cut off. So this push here will more than likely link up here, and then you have this big wide region that they control that Ukraine can't just simply move in and cut off. So no, do not underestimate the Russians. They know what they're doing. They make some funny tactical decisions, sure, that Ukraine likes to highlight on Twitter and what have you. But overall, don't underestimate the Russians. They know what they're doing, and this is dangerous for a number of reasons. So that's all I have for you this time around. Hopefully, Ukraine will receive a lot of supplies and weapons and support and what have you from the United States and the UK in short order, and that will more than likely help Ukraine hold the line and deny Russia any chances to further expand their that breach at Ocheretyne. But it is dangerous. Russia has a bunch of options that are all very dangerous for Ukraine, that will affect the front line in various directions. So Ukraine's biggest hope right now is for the US aid to drop in so that they can start shooting artillery once more at the Russians. And with that said, there's not much else to it. Gå på marsch, Ukraine. Give them hell.